It is my honor and privilege to welcome you all to this year's State of the City Address. This event serves as a valuable opportunity for us to come together as a community and reflect on our accomplishments, challenges, aspirations for the future. As President and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce and Visit Martinez, it is our mission to be a convener of leaders, a champion for a stronger community, and a catalyst for business growth. These guiding principles drive us to create a thriving environment where businesses can prosper, residents can thrive, and our community can flourish. Today, we are joined by our esteemed guests, including our mayor, city officials, and community leaders. Their presence underscores the importance of collaboration and partnership in achieving our shared goals. Together, we have the opportunity to shape the future of our city and create opportunities for all. As we look ahead, we must remain committed to our mission to convene from all sectors to collaborate on innovation, solutions to our most pressing challenges. We must champion initiatives that promote a stronger, more resilient community where every individual can succeed, and we must be a catalyst for business growth, supporting entrepreneurs and businesses of all sizes as they drive our economic prosperity. We thank you for attending today and being engaged in the future of Martinez. A recording of this event will air on CCTV with dates and times to be determined, and a link of the recording will also be posted on multiple social media channels and the Martinez Chamber of Commerce website for public viewing. We are very excited to share more with you about the Chamber of Commerce and a citywide campaign that we are officially launching today during our closing remarks and announcements. In the meantime, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Brianne Zorn. Brianne was elected to the Martinez City Council as a council member for District 3 in November 2020 and as mayor in November 2022. She grew up in Seattle and earned a BS in botany, a BA in anthropology, and a minor in Japanese from the University of Washington. She has worked in the nonprofit sector and environmental consulting for 16 years. She is a professional wetland scientist, and her work experience includes wetland delineation and permitting, sediment remediation and dredging, botanical garden management, and data management and visualization. She is a mother and stepmother of 3 kids and is proud to call Martinez her home since 2015. Brianne's priorities for Martinez are the waterfront and marina, vibrant downtown and retail centers, and improving the quality of life throughout the city. It is my pleasure to invite Mayor Brianne Zorn to the podium.
Good morning. Thank you, Lisa, for the kind introduction, and thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for putting on such a wonderful event every single year. My name is Brianne Zorn. I'm the mayor of the city of Martinez, and I want to thank you for joining us bright and early for the State of the City breakfast event. Before I get started, I want to acknowledge some of the city representation today. So, if I can see, Satinder Mali, council member. Lauren Sagayan, Assistant City Manager. Jill Bergman, Economic Development Director. Andrew White, Chief of Police. Mike Chandler, City Manager. Joe Inke, Public Works Director. And Michael Cass, Planning Manager. So this is my second State of the City event as mayor. Last year, I was only a few months into my new position, and I spent most of my time looking forward. This morning, I'd like to highlight some of the great progress we as a city have made. So let's look through some of the images over the past year. We kicked off the year with a $2.6 million earmark from the federal government. This is a photo that we took with our former Congressman, Mike Thompson, who started the process, and John Garamendi, who is our current Congressman, who carried this over the finish line. Congressman Garamendi has been a great advocate for the city of Martinez this past year. We're so lucky to have a year-round weekend farmers market. Michael Peterson, our farmers market coordinator, is a resident of Martinez, and his efforts with the market truly create a sense of place downtown every weekend. In April, we have our Bay Area Craft Beer Festival put on by Downtown Martinez and Company. Thousands of people come to Martinez from around the Bay to taste beers from various local and regional breweries. 2023 was sold out with record attendance and a queue at the waterfront park that stretched all the way to the Sea Scouts. Father's Day weekend, we have the King of the County Barbecue and Music Festival put on our very own Chamber of Commerce. It's a wonderful event for families and excellent bragging rights for those barbecuers who are awarded by a committee of tasters made up of Martinez community leaders, several of whom are in this room today. Martinez is becoming known as a destination for live music throughout the year on warm weekend nights. Our street closure and live music program allows for local restaurants to bring in top music groups from around the Bay. I'm looking forward to another summer of live music and dancing in the streets. In 2023, in partnership with local community leader Jamie Fox, we rolled out docent-led hikes in the recently purchased Alhambra Hills. This photo from one of the early spring hikes is one of my favorites because it shows the fence line that demarcates where the only property owned outright by John Muir himself is located. Last year, we completed the remaining Measure H projects. Measure H was a bond measure which funded capital projects at our local parks, including at our pool. The last 3 projects funded were this playground structure at Cappy Ricks Park, our neighborhood park, my neighborhood park, the new bathrooms and snack shack at Hidden Lakes, and an updated Field 5 at the waterfront. National Night Out is back. Local community leaders Kevin Murray and Pete Sabine partnered with the Martinez Police Department to expand this event held at the waterfront. Our first Pride Festival, organized by community leaders Sarah Tucker and Kenya Allen, this successful family-friendly event was held to remind Martesians they are loved exactly as they are. Our annual Martini Shake-Off was held once again at Ignacio Plaza in front of City Hall. Hosted by Chamber of Commerce, this popular event gives local bars and restaurants the opportunity to make us the best signature Martinez cocktail. The one in the photo was pretty delicious. Next. Halloween kicks off with a bang in Martinez. Downtown Martinez & Co. hosts a variety of themed events throughout the year because everyone likes to put on a costume. In October, they host both a zombie crawl, seen here, where local dance studio offers free lessons to practice and perform Michael Jackson's Thriller, and the Trunk or Treat, where local businesses, organizations, and neighbors bring candy to hand out to thousands of kids downtown. Loaves and Fishes received the award for the Nonprofit of the Year from Senator Dodd in November. I was so proud of our local organization that combats food insecurity and has dining rooms in various locations in Contra Costa County. One other thing about this photo is how well all of our council members were present. Even Senator Dodd remarked, "Wow, usually only a few council members show up to these kinds of events." As you probably know, we have a great group of council members, and I'm so proud of how we all show up. Community activism. This past year, a local activist group called Healthy Martinez was formed by community leaders Heidi Taylor, Wendy Kay, Alicia Gaudet, and Jillian Elliott, among others. In December, Healthy Martinez mobilized our community to turn out to advocate for the health and safety of our residents. Our council meetings provide a forum for our community members to come and advocate for their concerns. More positive outcomes from community action. The Alhambra Way mural was an idea led by Jeff and Tina Sherwin in partnership with Friends of Alhambra Creek, Caltrans, the City of Martinez, and a variety of other funding partners. The Alhambra Way mural came to be. Painting began in December 2023 by Martinez resident Tim Hahn and the Illuminaries in partnership with a variety of volunteer painters. Did anyone in this room participate in the painting process? No? Next, please. Rollout of community events. In partnership with PBF Energy, we will be having quarterly cleanup events throughout the community. Our next event will be held in April. Stay tuned for more details so you too can engage in cleaning up our neighborhoods. During our past council meeting, the council updated our community cultural event grants and dedicated more funding to put on events such as this Lunar New Year event, which is a wonderful event organized each year by community leader Vanna Tran. So next, I'd like to go through some city progress and milestones that we've met this year. The Marina and Waterfront Trust Lands Use Plan, our master plan for the waterfront on the lands we lease from the state of California. We adopted this document and approved to forward this to California State Lands for formal approval at our last council meeting. We are currently working on our 6th cycle housing element, which covers the years 2023 through 2031. This is a state-required document identifying areas with opportunity to increase housing in Martinez to address the problem of the shortage of housing both locally and statewide. Staff are currently working on the 3rd draft of this document. Upon council approval, we will resubmit to Housing and Community Development for hopefully our final approval. As a reminder, our residential housing needs assessment goal is 1,345 units in the next 8 years. We're also working on our local road safety plan. The plan will be approved by council in March 2024, and we can expect implementation starting this summer. It includes a $240,000 grant recently received for safe routes to school designs. And I also wanted to note that council approved the Measure D 5-year paving plan back in February. As part of our Measure D bond measure, we have taken our pavement condition index, the PCI, from a 45 rating of poor and are on track to exceed a 70 rating of good. Your tax dollars at work. We're also working on, We're also working on park projects. So the Pine Meadow Park Phase 1 is going out to bid this week. And we're also working on our Hidden Valley Park pickleball and tennis court renovations, all which should be under construction by the end of this year. I wanted to give everyone an update on PBF refinery. I know this was something that kind of kicked off my State of the City last year. So there's been much progress since the State of the City last year. In June, Contra Costa Health subcontractor conducted the soil sampling risk assessment, which concluded there were no impacts from home gardens in soil. Consistent with the council commitment for public communication, the City of Martinez rolled out Martinez alerts in July 2023 to augment the county's community warning system program. PBF settled the lawsuit with the Air District in 2024. In addition to dropping the lawsuit, they've committed to meeting Regulation Rule 6.5 by the deadline in 2026. This will result in an 80% reduction in air emissions. This past year, city leadership has advocated for the health and safety of Martinez residents and neighbors at the regional and state level. The Air District is currently considering automatic distributions to local community funds from penalties incurred from violations. Martinez would be one such local community fund. Also at the state level, AB 1465 is proposing to triple penalties for emissions violations. So there's still very much more to come. I encourage everyone here to stay connected. If you're interested in continuing to stay apprised of city actions, the city website will help keep you connected. You can sign up for our email newsletter, notifications of the posting of an agenda for the council or any commission that you're interested in. You can also sign up for Martinez Alerts via the website by going to martinezalerts.com or by snipping a photo of the QR code on the screen here today. You can also use our website to submit a service request, whether it be for water main issues, potholes, maintenance, parks needs, etc. You can upload photos directly to the form on our website using a computer or your mobile device. I also invite you to join council meetings on the 1st and 3rd Wednesdays. You can do this in person or online. The link is always in the agenda, and other commission meetings. Lastly, you can also use our website to connect to our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, X, or LinkedIn. To wrap up today, I wanted to review our City Council 2-year goals that we identified as part of our annual council retreat last year and provide an update on the progress that we've made. Our highest priority was staff recruitment and retention. In the past year, City Hall has increased by 13 full-time positions, including staffing in full the Community and Economic Development Department, Dispatch, Public Works, and Community Services and Recreation. Further, 2 major hires, the Chief Building Official and the Finance Director, will be announced soon. I want to give credit where credit is due. Thank you to the city manager, the city's executive leadership team, and human resources for their dedication to filling these positions so efficiently when candidates apply. Will you join me in a round of applause for city staff? The City of Martinez HR department's flexibility has allowed them to make offers quickly and dramatically cut down timelines for hiring. In addition, council has invested in improving the staff working environment, which included a city hall workspace remodel, including additional workspaces for increased staff. And that's a photo from just, I think, last week of the new workspaces. We have approved funding for a city hall roof replacement and installed Wi-Fi in city hall and in council chambers for the public who will be attending the meetings, right? Lastly, we've installed an electronic kiosk, bringing us into the 21st century. This new kiosk allows us to post agendas for public view remotely rather than in person with a piece of paper in a decades-old former display case. Next. I want to include a special note for our investments in public safety, a department that many of you know has become very understaffed over the past several years. Council approved a special out-of-contract public safety salary adjustment in April 2023 to enhance recruitment and retention of police officers. We've hired 11 sworn employees, including 5 laterals from other agencies who are ready to go on day one. We have increased training for all personnel and implemented upgrades to technology to maximize efficiency, such as car cameras and holster-activated cameras. Finally, Chief White has implemented community engagement surveys by text following calls for service, allowing feedback to be analyzed in nearly real time. Our next goal is financial sustainability. Our finance department has prioritized cost recovery initiatives that are years past needing an update. We have completed a user fee schedule and a water rate study, and we will soon be approving a recreation fee update. Our staff have implemented process improvements to enhance accounting efficiencies. One such example is switching to a weekly check run cycle to ensure our vendors are paid on time and helps our department managers have a better understanding of where we are with the budget. The finance department is currently in the process of our mid-cycle budget update. Recent reports suggest that some of our key revenue sources, such as sales tax, cannabis, and fee services are down, while property tax is up. We are in a challenging revenue climate with increasing expenses, but some in-house financial decisions, such as switching contracting services to staff and some lower than anticipated expenses, are supporting this budget adjustment. One item of note is that our ARPA funding, the one-time COVID funding received from the federal government, is reaching the end of its lifespan. We need to completely allocate the one-time funding by the end of this year and spend it all by 2026. We will begin our biennial budget process for fiscal year 25-26 and 26-27 in June of this year. It will be a challenging process, but our cost recovery improvements that we have made will assist with a positive outcome. Further, we'll be incorporating a long-term forecast as part of the next budget to look further than just 2 years ahead to help our council make better, more informed decisions. Our next goal is a vibrant waterfront and marina. This image is a rendering from our waterfront master plan. Our waterfront master plan includes some of the following components: a restaurant, cafe, and event center, tidelands restoration and sea level rise considerations, as well as dry storage for some of our public groups. It also includes a placeholder for potential Water Emergency Transportation Authority, or WETA, ferry terminal. WETA recently gave an update to City Council on their feasibility study to identify a location for a pilot study for ferry service along the Carquinez Strait. Of the cities along the Carquinez Strait, Martinez is a potential location for this pilot study. If you're interested in reviewing more about our waterfront master plan, you can review the plan at martinezwaterfront.com, and it's also posted on our website. Our next steps for the waterfront and marina are first and foremost approval by California State Lands. The renderings you see here are images proposed as part of this plan, showing the event center on the left and the proposed restaurant alignment on the right. Pending approvals by state and federal agencies, we will initiate the in-water construction of the fishing pier that we received the earmark for last year, with rehabilitation complete by November 2024. We have funded and are currently working on final construction designs, bid packages, and permitting for the eastern seawall. With this master plan in hand, we are empowered to secure funding for the remaining major infrastructure improvements. We believe these city actions will be the catalyst to attract private operators and investors to our waterfront. Our last two-year goal is strong downtown and commercial centers. We welcomed our new Community and Economic Development Director, Jill Bergman, to the team in June 2023. She hit the ground running, addressing immediate needs such as clearing out the permit backlog, streamlining the permit process, and rolling out online accessibility. Excuse me. Economic development is a key priority for our city, and this year we are rolling out economic development initiatives such as business attraction and marketing, support businesses and entrepreneurs citywide, and strategic planning, analysis, and long-term placemaking. Initial marketing steps include engagement with developers, brokers, and property owners. I want you to think about some of your favorite businesses in our city. These are great examples of a successful partnership between the business owner and the property owner. Our planning team will be targeting outreach and developing partnerships to strengthen marketing and tourism opportunities in Martinez. Our economic development team will identify opportunities via data collection through visits to local businesses to build relationships and develop trust and connect businesses with needed resources. Our city's planning department concierge services will help local business owners and property owners however we can. We will collaborate with the Chamber of Commerce, Downtown Martinez & Co. to celebrate businesses, such as through our monthly Business of the Month recognition awarded at council meetings. Strategic planning begins with utilizing these data to drive progress. You'll see that we're moving forward with a Phase 2 downtown parking study to evaluate parking upgrades, including updated parking meters and pay stations, as well as recommendations for revised parking rates to increase circulation. You'll see zoning amendments to promote economic growth and policies to streamline processes. Thank you. Our ultimate goal is long-term placemaking to create business districts that are uniquely Martinez. My vision is to see many ribbon cuttings by enthusiastic business owners like the previous one at Shuckett, not just downtown, but throughout Martinez. Thank you for joining me this morning, and I look forward to where Martinez is headed in 2024. To continue on the theme of economic development, we've invited the next speaker to discuss the market analysis he prepared to identify Martinez's economic strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities. At your table, is there a QR code for the document? Great. At your table, you have a QR code for the analysis that he prepared. El Del Becerro is a Northern California regional manager for TRI Commercial, where he oversees all leasing, investment, and development for TRI San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, and Walnut Creek offices. He's a recognized thought leader and expert in all aspects of real estate development and leasing during his 40-year career. He's performed economic development studies for various cities in the East Bay. He also holds leadership positions with the East Bay Economic Development Alliance, Walnut Creek Chamber of Commerce, East Bay Leadership Council, and many other regional organizations. Please join me in welcoming Ed Del Becerro to the stage.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Lisa and the Chamber of Commerce for this opportunity. First slide. What I'm going to talk about to follow through and what the Mayor was doing is the title of my presentation, Is It Martinez's Turn Now? And what do I mean by that? How does Martinez become one of the centers of prosperity throughout the East Bay? What does it take to go from an A, which has been a successful city so far, to an A+? So this presentation, as the Mayor said, is a summary of the presentation my firm and I made to the City Council a couple of weeks ago. Specifically, we looked at what does it take to get more retail downtown and employment centers and retail along Highway 4. I will examine economic drivers, including population, employment, and real estate dynamics, which then lead to, you can predict where the economic development. Some of the numbers, and again, you can get a copy of this if you ask. So without reading all the numbers, The national unemployment rate is 3.7%. Martinez is 3.4, so it's in good shape there. The Martinez population is 37,287 and has over 14,000 household. Here's a good statistic. Martinez's average household income is 159,000 and is expected to grow to 180,000 in 2028. This compares to Contra Costa, which is currently as a whole at 167,000. So what are the drivers that drive the current Martinez economy, and what can be enhanced, and what policy changes? So the current population over the age of 55 is 26.4%, and is expected to increase to 37% in 2028. When I later on go into the retail void analysis, that's not a good statistic. The 30 to 50-year-old age demographic is what buys appliances, new household formation. Old people like me, we buy CDs and go traveling. So the downtown population within a 1 mile radius, and again, this is important to retailers, is 7,500. In the 3 mile radius, it's over 38,000, and in the 10 mile radius, it's over 528,000. Another good statistic, over 45% of the Martinez population has a college degree. The sale tax revenue in 2003, quarter three, was $1.2 million plus, and the receipts increased over 28% over the last 10 quarters. So despite the pandemic, it's actually recovered quite a bit in its sales tax. That's a good trend. What's not known is that the business and industrial sectors in Martinez are the vast majority of sales tax receipts and property taxes. Another amazing statistic is 254,000 riders pass through the Amtrak station downtown. Later on, I'll tell you why that's important. How do you take advantage of that, as opposed to just passing through? I just identify some of the top employers. Obviously, the Contra Costa County downtown, the Veterans Administration, Kaiser, Walmart, Safeway, etc. Now here's a real estate update. I am in real estate, so I have to do something there. So the Contra Costa industrial vacancy is 5.1%. Rental rates average $1.56. In Martinez is 1.56. When I do rental numbers, the reason why that's important is in order to build a new buildings, you need a certain level of rent to build a new building or rehab a building. The retail vacancy is healthy insofar overall Martinez is 7.3%. Contra Costa is 7.3, and it's roughly 4 in Martinez. But the average rental rate is $2 net. New retail space actually needs $4 to pay for life safety, new building construction, seismic. So that's an important stat right there. How do we increase the rental rates to allow people to rehab their buildings and build new? The average home value in Martinez is $769,000, and that compares to $795,000 in Contra Costa and $981,000 in Pleasant Hill. So even though that sounds expensive, on a relative basis, Martinez has affordable housing. How do you take advantage of that if $750,000 is affordable? By the way, for $750,000, the household income has to be $200,000. You need $200,000 down, and your mortgage payment could be $3,000 to $4,000, plus utilities. That's an issue statewide, especially the Bay Area. So as the mayor mentioned, the RENA affordable housing component, workforce housing is the proper word, there's another 1,300 units going to be added over the next so many years per the housing plan. Now, what are the opportunities and constraints? So this is the meat of the study that we did. So you identify the assets that can be enhanced, then you look at the opportunities, and I was having this conversation at the table, the constraints. Constraints are a problem that want to be solved. So in the case of Martinez, they can, but some policy decisions to be made. So first, what are the assets? The mayor identified a bunch of them. So the marina. A lot of cities would beg to have a northern waterfront and a marina. So this is a fantastic opportunity, and a possible ferry station. Also a downtown transit hub. You have an Amtrak station, a county connection. How do we take advantage of that? How's the city? Now going to Highway 4, 75,000 cars go past Martinez a day. And again, as I mentioned, relatively affordable housing. There's an historic downtown. How do you take more advantage of that? The Chamber and the Downtown Association is already sponsoring regional successful events. How do you grow from there? So one idea is a wine train. Amtrak has a dedicated train that goes to Napa. What if there was a wine train that went to Napa? What if you took, since we're losing baseball, what if we had Western Regional World Series or College Series for baseball? You have the field, Western Regional Bocce. So again, there's a whole bunch of, the idea is not just to add people downtown, but to bring people in from the 10-mile, 20-mile radius. Martinez is successful at that. How do you enhance it? How do we take advantage of all the county employees? And then the other asset is the nearby refineries. How do we use their supply chain and their ecosystem and themselves to potentially bring clean tech and biodiversity investments in the area? Next slide. Now, this is the meat of the study. So what we did is a retail void analysis, which is actually quite technical. So what do retailers look for when they cite a store? What do they do to expand a store? So the parameters that a city looks at for a new location, and remember, Martinez is in competition with a 10-mile radius, 30-mile radius. So if a tenant is going to do 7 stores in the state of California, and they get 50 applications, what are the reasons why they pick a particular location? So what we looked at is the population. We did a 1-mile, 3-mile, 5-mile, and 10-mile radius. Is it growing? And what's the age? And I mentioned that before, where age is important is the key retail demographic is the 30 to 50-year-old. So how do you increase that particular segment? So the retailers already have a store in the area. So again, you've heard the word, they use the fancy word cannibalization. If I have a store in Concord, a store in Pleasant Hill, I don't want those store sales to go down. So how does Martinez benefit? On the other hand, if there's enough sales volume, you add the 3rd store. Then we have another term, symbiotic stores. We call them telltales. So for instance, Starbucks is a telltale. Starbucks says people are willing to pay $5 for a cup of coffee. There's a whole series of retailers that look at that as a symptom, or rather a sign, that they can put their product in that area. And then other things what they look at is how fast or how long does it take to do process. The mayor mentioned how the city is making progress in that area. And then what are the potential square sales per square foot? This is a big deal. So one reason why the CVS closed in Virginia Hills is the sales per square foot wasn't adequate. Meanwhile, CVS is opening up stores elsewhere. So what are the reasons why did CVS do that, and what can be done to mitigate that? Challenges. Now again, challenges, every city should have challenges. If you don't have challenges, you're not growing. So how do we mitigate, how do we identify those challenges, and how do we mitigate them? So one of the challenges we mentioned before, the population of Martinez is growing more slowly than in the past, and it's aging in place. So a typical example is my house. So 10 years ago, we had 6 people, now we have 2. So even though there's more units, there's less people per unit, and that becomes a factor in population decrease, et cetera. In Martinez, since 2009, there's been a 10% decrease in the number of workers living and working in the same city. Downtown Martinez is also a mile away from the highways. And if you look at the prosperous cities in the last 40 years, since the highways were built, it's those within 4 blocks of an interchange. This results in downtown having low car and pedestrian traffic. In real estate and in retail, traffic is a good word, because if less traffic you have, the less activity, the less you get retailers. So how do you increase the pedestrian traffic? There's actually stats to that. How do you increase the car traffic? Typical retailers, for instance, if you're on Hamler, they want 30 to 40,000 cars a day. If you're 10,000, only certain kinds of hotels or retailers can go there. Then for employment centers. So Martinez is centrally located between Berkeley, Richmond, and East Contra Costa County. But are there enough sites to put 100,000-foot manufacturing? So there is one on Highway 4, without mentioning its name. We actually have a chip fabricator in Martinez. They want to grow. Where do they go? There's other advanced manufacturing concepts that want to be in that part of Martinez, but where do they go? Now, solving problems, recommended policy changes. And again, pretend I'm from Mars. I'm going to give you 10 recommendations. If you do 5, you're better off. So add more housing downtown, but specifically in a 3-block radius of the transit hub, to create a village concept to take advantage of the transportation there, to attract young people. This would be multifamily rentals in most cases. The good news is on the marina is that probably at all possible with 10,000 agencies to accelerate the development of that. That might be tough. Implement ferry service. We talked about that. But some of the cities, because I'm working with Benicia and Antioch, go to the last 2 slides. Actually, we don't need slides. Some of the cities along the Kirkina Straits are thinking of water taxi. In fact, there's going to be an MTC study that wants to investigate the northern waterfront and how to forget San Francisco. How do you take advantage of Hercules, Antioch, Benicia, and all the cities along Kirkina Strait for tourism and workflow? What is a fundamental change in the employment area is people working away from downtown San Francisco and Oakland. So how does Martinez capture some of that slice? How does it use railroads? How does it use cars, highway? How does it use the ferry service to be an employment node? Along those lines, how do we take advantage of 274,000 people a day going through the train station? What can we do to have them get off the train station and do something in downtown? Upgrading zoning density in very select areas. My speech last couple weeks ago was taken out of context. I'm not asking to take down the downtown. I'm not asking to add 10-story buildings in Virginia Hills. It's really the 3-block radius of a transit hub. So you see the same thing by BART stations elsewhere. The city's already doing it, but how do you streamline more your municipal party system? Again, think that you're in competition with other cities. So the city of Fremont, we used to joke, was a 1958 movie set. It hadn't changed in 30 years. Today, it is now the medical instruments capital of the West Coast. It has advanced manufacturing, but what the city did there is went from public CUPs to administrative use permits that take 3 months. Walnut Creek takes 18 months. If I'm a Series 2 investor, I'm investing in a new industry, I have to have proof of concept, I have to hire 50 people by June. I can't wait a year to get my permit. Vacaville, formerly known as Vacantful, now is becoming a life science center. They have over 500,000 feet of life sciences coming into that city. What did they do to attract that? And as I mentioned, enhance regional events. The chamber and the downtown is doing a great. How do you take more advantage of that? And then how do you also take advantage of what the county is going to do? The county is going to consolidate a lot of its offices along Highway 4 into new buildings on Arnold. What happens to those parcels? State law says it has to go to affordable housing, but maybe there's something else to do, and I know the city's working on that initiative already. So my last slide. But I have some words to say. So let's go back to Martinez's history. In the middle to late 1800s, Martinez had a deep water port. It exported orchard product and wheat to the rest of the world. It had a ferry station. It was a major fish center, and as you know, DiMaggio's parents and grandparents were fishermen. It had a railroad that was a major stop along the Transcontinental Railroad. It had downtown hotels. It had 3 theaters. It had an opera. So in one sense, how does Martinez go back to its roots? So the answer I have to my question is it Martinez's turn? It is definitely Martinez's turn. So how do you take advantage of the various assets you have? How do you enhance them? And yes, it's now Martinez. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed, for being so adaptable. Well, when we talk about housing and development and growth and opportunities, our workforce absolutely comes into play. And for our next guest speaker, I would love to introduce Tamaya Brown. She is the Executive Director of Workforce Development Board of Contra Costa County. She directs the Workforce Development Board of Contra Costa County under Brown's leadership. The board continues to focus on providing workforce and education programs that deliver a skilled workforce, career advancement, and linkage to quality jobs. Brown leads a workforce of 20 and an annual operational budget of more than $15 million. At the board's direction, Brown develops comprehensive strategies to ensure the successful execution of programs and operations to create and sustain a competitive workforce for the local economy. Brown was named Executive Director in July of 2021. She brings 20 years of workforce development experience and a depth of understanding about business and job seeker needs. Having led a wide range of workforce initiatives in Alameda and Santa Clara counties prior to her appointment. Brown holds a master's degree in public administration, organizational leadership from National University, and a Bachelor of Science degree in business administration, organization management from San Jose State University. It's my pleasure to introduce Tamaya.
Good morning, everyone. First off, I want to thank Mayor Zorn for inviting me here to speak today in the Chamber of Commerce and the City of Martinez. I want to also thank the WDB board members here today for your support and contributions to our mission to support equitable economic growth for Contra Costa County through innovative, sustainable solutions. Now, I was hoping my slides wouldn't show up so I could just read my speech, but they're here, so I'll try to follow. As the Director of the Workforce Development Board, I'm honored to address you today to discuss the vital topic of workforce development in the city of Martinez. Martinez is a community of hardworking individuals, families, and businesses, all striving for success and growth. And at the heart of the community lies the workforce, the dedicated men and women who drive our economy forward, fuel innovation, and shape the future of the city. And so I wanted to give you a little quick synopsis on what the Workforce Board does.
Achieving equity. That's our focus at the Workforce Development Board of Contra Costa County, a business-led board that builds public and private partnerships with education, economic development, labor and community organizations to solve complex workforce challenges. We invest in our community. Through federal, state, and private funding, we make sure there is alignment between government workforce services and programs and the needs of local employers. If local businesses can't find enough skilled workers or they need new talent, we are the first stop to recruit, train, and retain their workforce. We ensure a pipeline of diverse workforce talent is ready for the jobs of the future to keep local companies competitive. When job seekers and young adults need new skills, or want a more secure in-demand career path, our career centers offer employment and workforce services, occupational skills training, and educational programs to help them achieve upward economic mobility. Our vision is that every job seeker, every young adult, and every business has the chance to achieve equity and live a high quality of life in our beautiful community of Contra Costa County. Representation on the board gives Contra Costa businesses a seat at the table to articulate their needs and collaborate to meet those needs. When we work together to meet business and industry needs, we also create pathways to employment for job seekers, and that leads to a stronger local economy for everyone. To learn more about how we can help your business or industry with a long-term workforce solution, or if you want to serve on our board, visit www.achievingequitycontracosta.com.
So that's what we do. Think I'm done. No, just kidding. As of March 7th, the preliminary unemployment rate for California is about 5.2%. And in Contra Costa, it's 5%, with Martinez hovering around 5.2%. This is revised from a 4.5% in December and above the year-ago unemployment rate of 5.7% for California and a 4.1% for the nation. However, between January 2023 and January 2024, the East Bay has increased by about 16,000 jobs. So as we look to the future, it's essential that we invest in our workforce, equipping them with the skills, knowledge, and opportunities they need to thrive in an ever-evolving economy. That's why I'm proud to announce the Workforce Development Board of Contra Costa's commitment to the residents and businesses of the city of Martinez by investing in skills and training and education, providing access to high-quality education and training programs that equip individuals with skills and credentials needed to succeed in today's job market. Our priority industry sectors are healthcare, ICT, transportation and logistics, energy, and advanced manufacturing. We also support job placement and career services. We have American Job Centers throughout the county that offer comprehensive placement assistance, career counseling, and support services to help individuals find meaningful employment opportunities that align with their interests. Our services include resume writing, interview preparation, and networking events. In collaboration with Martinez Adult Schools, our services are offered 5 days a week, both virtual and in person. We're committed to workforce diversity and inclusion, promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workforce by removing barriers to employment and creating inclusive workplaces that value and respect the contributions of all individuals, regardless of their background and identity. Across our system, we currently enroll about 500 adults a year and over 200 youth a year. However, over 10,000 individuals walk through our doors to receive basic career services. We pride ourselves on industry partnerships and collaborations, collaborating with local businesses, industry associations, and economic development organizations to identify workforce needs, develop targeting training programs, and create pathways to employment in high-demand sectors. Building strong partnerships ensures that the workforce development efforts are aligned with the needs of the labor market. I want to highlight one of our, slides. Let's go, keep going, one more. One more. So I wanted to highlight one of our partnerships. We received a grant from the state about a year ago, roughly a year ago, and it's to support the maritime trades. So we are working with an industry-led board to create short-term training programs to address the labor shortages in the maritime trades. And these opportunities would support things like the ferry service coming to Martinez and opportunities that will create prosperous local businesses along the waterfront. The Workforce Board supports retention and advancement of employees, implementing strategies to support workforce retention and career advancement, including opportunities for ongoing training and ongoing professional development. We also support apprenticeship and work-based learning models, expanding access to apprenticeship programs, internships, and other work-based learning programs that provides hands-on experience and practical skills developed in the real-world work environment. Just to highlight, the WDB is an apprenticeship sponsor for the Paramedics Apprenticeship Program in partnership with AMR, where we're supporting non-traditional individuals entering into healthcare careers through EMT and a paramedics program, and on to become nurses, mental health coaches, So we're really excited about our investments in the healthcare initiative. And we also support entrepreneurship and small business development, supporting entrepreneurship and small business development initiatives that create opportunities for job creation, innovation, and economic growth. Recently, we've embarked on Think Contra Costa, which is a website that provides resources, training, and assistance to entrepreneurs and small business owners. I understand that a strong and resilient workforce is the foundation of a prosperous community. That's why we're committed to providing comprehensive support, resources, and initiatives to empower Martinez residents and Martinez businesses. At the Workforce Development Board, we're working to forge strong partnerships with local education, training providers, and businesses to ensure that our workforce is equipped with the skills, credentials needed to succeed in today's competitive job market. Through apprenticeships in the trades and our paramedics programs, internships through earn and learn models, and vocational training programs, doors of opportunities for our youth and young adults are promising. Whether it's through workshops, seminars, and online courses, we're providing avenues for our residents to enhance their skills, explore new careers, and stay ahead of the curve. We're dedicated to fostering a culture of lifelong learning and continuous skill development. But the workforce development isn't just about individual success. It's about economic growth and prosperity for the entire community. That's why we're working closely with local businesses to understand their workforce needs and emerging skills. That way we can create tailor-made solutions for them, from recruitment assistance and job placement services, training grants, and incentives, where we're here to support our local employers every step of the way. We want to move beyond one-off initiatives and isolated partnerships. Infrastructure agencies and employers need to dramatically increase how much they share information, coordinate with each other, and how much ultimately to align their strategies. Education and training providers can prepare workers more efficiently and effectively if they are to an organized employer community rather than a fragmented one. At the WDB of Contra Costa County, we call ourselves the WDB, we recognize the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workforce. By promoting diversity and removing barriers to employment, we're ensuring that all members of our community have equal access to opportunities for personal and professional growth. As an example of ensuring access through legislation, Senate Bill 150 is a commitment to advance equity and prioritize disadvantaged communities as the state moves towards a green economy. This bill requires the inclusion of community benefits, PLAs, entered into by state agencies on projects with an aggregate construction cost in excess of $35 million. These community benefits will include local hire provisions, partnerships, high-road construction careers, and other methods to promote employment of individuals from economically disadvantaged areas. These public investments, I'm sure you've heard of, like the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, the Inflation Reduction Act. These public investments provide opportunities for the WDB to leverage existing resources, partnerships, and expertise to take a more formal and strategic approach with recruiting, retraining, and retaining workers. So in conclusion, I want to emphasize that workforce development isn't just a goal, it's a journey. And it's one that requires the collective effort and commitment of our entire community. Let's invest in our workforce, unleash potential, and build a brighter future for Martinez.
Thank you, Tamianne. I apologize for mispronouncing your name earlier. The Martinez Chamber of Commerce is excited to be celebrating its 79th year as a leader, mentor, and advocate for the Martinez business community. For nearly 8 decades, we have been at the forefront of supporting local businesses and driving economic growth in our city. One of our core missions, as I mentioned earlier, is to convene leaders, and we do so by hosting events like this, the State of the City Address and the Candidates Forum. We're also proud to partner and be a catalyst for change, supporting and advocating for smart growth that promotes and supports businesses in our community. Through our advocacy efforts, we work to create an environment where businesses can thrive and succeed. Facilitating connections, if you'd go a couple ahead, our speakers, our candidates forum, and then facilitating connections and networking at our events, such as our business after hours social events, to bring local businesses and foster business-to-business growth and networking. Next slide. Additionally, we are working on a new workshop series in conjunction with the City of Martinez and Downtown Martinez & Co. The subject matter will be determined by you, our business owners and members and community. Examples might be mastering artificial intelligence, social media marketing, or accounting and HR. The first 20 business owners to complete this entire workshop series, which will be rolled out later this year, will be eligible, we're very excited, for a $500 grant each. Next slide. On the back of your program is a QR code, which we would really appreciate you taking a survey now or at a later time. We'd greatly appreciate you taking the time to complete it so that we continue to align our offerings and our services, including those workshops, to meet the needs of businesses, including helping us determine what topics and subjects are most interested for you in our upcoming workshop series. Celebrating and recognizing the achievements of local businesses is also important to us. We host ribbon-cutting ceremonies for new businesses, celebrate grand openings, grand reopenings, and milestone anniversaries. Another program that we facilitate and partner with the city on, as mentioned by Mayor Brianne Zorn, is the Business of the Month. Businesses of the Month meet specific criteria and guidelines outlined by the Chamber and contributions to the community. All Business of the Month's recipients are eligible for the Business of the Year award. These efforts not only showcase and acknowledge the strength and diversity of our business community, but also contribute to the growth and success. Furthermore, we're committed to contributing to the community at large. We offer a community-wide calendar, as seen above on the slide, to keep residents informed and engaged at our website. Organizations hosting events may upload qualifying events on our calendar for free. Additionally, next slide, we host the largest festival in our city over Father's Day weekend, the King of the County Barbecue Competition and Music Festival. Last year's attendance was in excess of 20,000 and broke all attendance records previously. One of our most anticipated events annually is our Martini Shake-Off. It's a sellout event, and we celebrate the birthplace of the martini, Martinez. This event, as I said, sells out every year and highlights the rich history and culture of our city. This year it will be held on September 14th. Next slide, please. Finally, and Marina, I'd like to invite you to come out. We have a special guest. Last but not least, can you bring her forward? Last but not least, if you could bring her forward. It's hard to see, she needs an escort. This is our resident beaver, Marina. She came out to help me announce the launch of our newest initiative, the Best of Martinez campaign, which launches today. This campaign will showcase the best of Martinez has to offer, from businesses to attractions, and will further help us promote our city as a vibrant, thriving community. Nominations officially open today in a multitude of categories and will be announced and accepted through April 18th. Next slide, please. March 19th through April 30th, the voting period officially begins. All voters 18 and over will be entered in a drawing, next slide, for a $500 hotel savings card and will receive one entry per vote. Contenders also, as nominees, encouraged to promote their nominations via social media and email marketing, will receive an incentive as well. Marketing flyers with QR codes to vote can be downloaded directly from the site by our nominees, contenders. The Chamber has also created marketing materials for distribution and display in businesses. to help promote the campaign. The contender incentive with the most social media engagement during the campaign will be $500. Throughout the campaign, you will be able to see business positions toggling until we go dark. Similar to the Academy Awards, the accounting firm of Bonington, Merkel, Holsinger, also known as our Beaver, and Baber will tally the final votes to determine first and second runner-ups and the winner of Best of Martinez 2024. Winners will be announced at the Best of Martinez Bash, also known as the Bomb. Date and time to be announced in the next few weeks. Winners will be listed on the Best of Martinez 2024 site, if you'd go forward one more, and receive recognition and bragging rights until 2025, when we hope to run this campaign again. This program will also provide the Chamber valuable content to promote our businesses, to visit California and San Joaquin Amtrak. Lastly, winners of this first annual event will receive a Best of banner or icon in our upcoming community entertainment and dining guide. The second QR code on the back of your program is the code to the Best of Martinez. We hope you will nominate starting today and vote when the voting opens. Next slide, please. None of these events, campaigns, or programs could be administered without the dedication of our amazing staff. Please stand, staff. Resident Beaver. This direction. Who's a little directionally challenged. Our many volunteers, which I count many of you among them, so please give yourself a round of applause. Next slide. Our committees, which include our event committee and our ambassador committee. If you've served on either one of those, if you would please also stand or raise your hand for acknowledgement. Event committee, ambassador committee, thank you. And noted above, if you would please stand for acknowledgement, our incredible board of directors. Next slide, please. Thank you to our sponsors. Again, we could not do this without you. We have so many wonderful partners within the community. In the second slide, also including additional sponsors. Without them, we would not be able to present all this wonderful, valuable information about our future. After hearing from our mayor, next slide, and guest speakers today about the future of Martinez, can you hit that live link? If it doesn't work, that's okay. Okay. That was going to give you a sneak peek into the Best of Martinez, but if you go to that QR code, it's going to bring you right there. After hearing today about the marina development, the housing possibilities, workforce and training and services that are available, the proposed improvements to the downtown district and beyond, I'm truly excited. As Marina says, and she is featured as our awardee, the Marina Awards for the Best of Martinez, we're a damn great city. Not only that, with everybody partnering together, we're building a sustainable and very bright future. The Chamber is proud to be a contributor and a catalyst of this transformation and a partner. Thank you so much for attending today.